Perfect. Okay. Hello, everybody. Today is December 22nd, 2020, and today we are talking about becoming your best version. Yay! I don't know about you, but I'm really excited to see who this best version of Lizelle is. And I hope you are all really looking forward to and excited about seeing who the highest version, best version of you is, because that version is there. It's already waiting in there, just waiting for you to discover it. And hopefully today's call, Majid and I both get to help you uncover layers that aren't you, and we can begin to put them off to the side with love and gratitude and start to really focus on this version of you, this more authentic version who lives with clarity, who lives with intention, who lives with gratitude, and who radiates. Radiates from the inside out versus radiating, trying to call in that support and that light and that that permission from the outside, but letting that energy flow out so that it can be shared. If that's something that you're interested in doing, go ahead and type in 888. We're looking at abundance for 2021. We're looking at abundance of love, abundance of freedom, abundance of money, abundance of health, abundance of opportunities, right? We're looking at abundance. And 8, if you turn it, if you make it a little bit less of a circle, you can stretch it out and it becomes infinity. And infinity is abundance. There is no end. There is no end to infinity. And I'm seeing, oh my God, the chat is all 8s. I love it. So you guys are in the right room. Today we are talking a lot about what's possible. What's possible when you can take off the limits. I'm so excited. So for those of you who don't know who I am or are watching the replay, maybe this link was shared with a friend or family member. My name is Lizelle Zeger. I live in Hawaii. I live in Kailua in the middle of the freaking Pacific Ocean, away from everybody else. However, I was born and raised in California, and my dream life was to one day live in Hawaii. And I've been wanting to live here since 1999. I didn't make it here actually until 2017. Until I became the version of Lizelle that was ready and willing and able to create the life that she was meant to create here. And for you, the same is going to happen, okay? If you see a future version of yourself, a future life, that is your vision, okay? I can't confirm for you what's right or wrong, and neither can Majid, and neither can your parents or your significant other. The vision that you see for yourself is your vision to see. So your coworkers, your sister lines, your sidelines, if your upline, your downline, nobody else can tell you anything about this vision, because this vision is for you to see. So please remember that, okay? No one can tell you that you're wrong and you're not good enough or that you can't. If someone does say that, that is their limitations that they are speaking into the universe. And you can let it go. Once you get to the space of knowing who you are and knowing who you're not, you're going to start seeing everybody's limitations trying to climb its way into your ear. And it's in that process of you watching it climbing up when you're like, you know what, that's not mine. And then there's no place for it to go. It's just going to climb around your face maybe for a minute, and then it's just going to crawl back to where it came from, okay? So being the best version of you really requires you to step into your truth, to live your truth, and to allow your truth to permeate louder and brighter than what anybody else is saying, okay? So that's what we're gonna dive into today. I kind of talked about my story, but not really. I am a life coach. I am actually divine purpose coach. So I help people find their true life purpose. And from that space of alignment and clarity, I help them manifest their dream life. So if you follow me on Instagram at How to Manifest, I talk all about manifestation, law of attraction, energy, vibration, frequency, 5D, 3D, all that invisible stuff. Because for me, it's really about setting that energetic foundation for yourself. When you know what's true for you, you're going to know what's not true for you, and then you can start taking action, okay? Something that you have to do when you are on your path of stepping forward into the best version of yourself is you have to start being true to yourself. You have to start living your life with honesty and integrity with yourself. Today, our guest speaker is my very good friend, Majid. And this morning, we had a conversation literally just like about life. And you guys, I just want to let you know to take your notebooks out right now. Imagine I already hit record, so I'm super excited. But before I bring you on, I want to share a short little story that Majid and I kind of like dove into today about integrity and about what that means for us, actually what it means, and then what it means for you and how to apply it. So just imagine for a second that you're in a relationship, okay? You're in a relationship with this person. And most of us in this room, there's 25 of us. Let me just scroll down here. Most of us are women. So for this example only, okay, for this example, we are a woman and we're in a relationship with a man. And the man that we are in a relationship with is lying to us. And we know it, but he doesn't know that we know. So he lies, and then we catch him in a lie. And he's like, oh no, and we're like, okay, that was like one time. And you're like, okay, fine. Like, I forgive you. I love you. Okay, you're fine. A month later, you catch him in 2 lies. And you're like, oh, are you serious? Like, I thought we already talked about this. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Okay, yeah, sorry, love you. Okay, all right. And you're like, okay. And then the 3rd month comes, or maybe it's the 4th month, or maybe it's a year later. And you realize, like, lied again. I just lied last week, like last night. Like, can I really trust this person? Because is everything that they say, is it going to be a lie or is it going to be a truth? Like, I know, because we're tapped into the energy and I can tell, but like, what is their deal? Why are they lying to me? This doesn't make any sense. And so every time that person comes into the room, you're like, in your mind, okay, are you gonna lie or are you gonna tell the truth? Like, you don't really know what you're gonna get and you can't fully trust that person. What is that relationship with that person gonna be like for you? Not that great, right? There's not gonna be a lot of trust. There's not gonna be a lot of open, deep, fulfilling love. There's gonna be a lot of walls up, right? There's gonna be a lot of walls, and there's gonna be doubts, and there's gonna be worries, and there's gonna be questions, and there's gonna be all in the head, right? It's gonna be all up here. Relationships are about connecting through the heart, but this particular relationship is gonna be all up here. And that's not like the best, highest, most fulfilling relationship, right? Here's the thing. A lot of us have that relationship with ourselves. Ooh. I can't believe you said that. What's up? It's true though. There's a thing called integrity. And I can share about this because this is part of my journey. I wasn't being completely honest with myself. I wasn't fulfilling everything and saying everything that I said that I was going to do. I came from a people pleaser position where I wanted everybody to be happy. I wanted to be the person that made everybody happy. I wanted to, yes, I'll do that. Yes, I was a yes girl. Yes, oh yeah, I can do that. Oh, I'd love to do that. Oh, how can I help? Oh, let me help. I didn't pay attention to me. I paid attention to everybody else. I was pouring from an empty cup. And where did that leave me? It left me tired. It put me on the back burner. I didn't know who I was. I was completely lost. I didn't know what my goals were. I didn't know how to get there. I was kind of in the corner in the ball going, yay, everybody, life is beautiful, but like not really doing anything with my life. And that's when I was still living in California. That's before I discovered my power. That's before I discovered what's truly possible. That's when I was still living according to what everybody else was saying that I should live. So how does this relate to you? This is all about you speaking truth to yourself and you acting on what you say you're gonna do. My solution to being a people pleaser, please type a 3 in the chat. Maybe I think the chat's over there. Type a 3 in the chat if you resonated with anything that I shared. If you feel like you're in a position where you're being told what to do, where you want to give and give and give, but like, where are you? I'm in the back. Like, who am I? What do I do? How do I help? But how do I help others? But how do I help myself? And like, you're kind of lost and stuck all the time. Okay. See, we're not alone. You're not alone. If you look in the chat, look at all the 3s. Okay, this way. You're not alone. Okay. I was there. I'm still there sometimes, not gonna lie, okay? There's still moments, okay? And it's these types of patterns that we have to become aware of. We have to rise above and be like, oh, I'm doing that? And then make a choice. Do I like that? Do I like that I do that? Or do I not like to do that? Do I want to choose to carry that action, that pattern with me in the future? Or because I see it, now I have the power, I have the awareness. Is that something that I want to change or something I want to leave behind and say, thank you, you got me here. Thank you very much. Pet it, love it, kiss it, hug. Okay, bye, and go, right? You are the creator of your life. There's nobody else who can create your life, and there's nobody else who can live your life except you, okay? I can't live your life, just like you can't live mine. And you may not want to because there's a lot happening over here in my house. But here we are today. All of us here are leaders of our own lives, CEOs of our own lives and businesses. I think 99% of us are business owners right now. Whether you are in a network market or you are a coach of some sort, you are a leader, you are an influencer, okay? And you have to remember that it doesn't matter if you think nobody is watching. There are people who are watching, okay? There are people who have been watching you and will never say anything to you, ever. And you have to remember that. So the only person that you really need to stay in touch with and stay connected with is yourself. And starting from that space, you can create any life that you want. So in this moment, I'm getting chills. I'm gonna have us just shake a little bit and we're gonna do a little ground and center. And then I will introduce our guest speaker, my good friend, my brother from another mother, okay? Get your notebooks ready. So get in your seat, uncross your legs. If you wanna do this, get really grounded. Put your hands underneath your thigh and open up like the base of your butt cheek. And you're going to actually ground yourself. You're going to connect your physical body, align your physical body, and allow the energy to flow. So when you're ready, go ahead and join me in closing the eyes. And just for this minute, turning your energy inward to yourself. Just call all the pieces of yourself back to you here in this moment, in this body, in this moment in time. Forgetting the day, forgetting the year that was 2020, and just being here now. Now. See how quickly you can shift by just turning inward. Now go ahead and join me by taking 3 deep breaths that we can do together. So going in through the nose and out the mouth. No rush, taking your time. Breath number 2, in through the nose. And releasing the day, the year, the past, out your mouth. Letting it all fall away. Breath number 3, calling in the future with love and light now. In through the nose. Fill it up and hold at the top. And release that love and light into the world. Letting it settle, settle, settle. It is in this moment with our eyes closed that we share this space and this beautiful moment that we call now. And now, and now. And it is here where our awareness is being centered on our hearts and being projected into the future and what's possible. Okay, let's create this space of listening where your soul can be with you while you listen and be open to the possibilities today. Okay. Go ahead and take 1 breath with me here to close this off. In through the nose and out the mouth. And when you are ready, connecting back to your body, feeling supported by your seat, by your house or your car, wherever you are sitting right now. And then when you're ready, go ahead and open up the eyes and come back to this masterclass via Zoom today. And just really being present to what's possible, because we're at a very unique moment in time, yes, where Literally, our houses of our life just got flipped upside down, and all the junk is out for everybody to see. And now we're like, what do we want to take into 2021, and what do we want to leave behind? All I've been talking about for most of my time here so far in these past few months of having these talks and trainings, I've been talking about the invisible stuff, right? The beliefs, law of attraction, energy, frequency, 5D, things you can't touch. And then I recently, epiphany, Lizelle, connect with Majid. Majid and I have been friends for 4 years and counting. And he's always been this rock of knowledge, of love, light. To me, I see him as like he's very zen. He's very zen, and he's very, very, very knowledgeable. So today we're not going to be able to dive into every little piece about how to become your best version, but we are going to focus on the 3D piece, because that is the piece that is not my specialty as a teacher and as a coach, but it is what I practice in my real life. A lot of it with Majid's influence, because of how it just all makes sense, right? When we can focus on ourselves in all dimensions, then everything falls into place outside. And I'm so happy and so grateful to be able to share his wealth of knowledge and pass it on with you, and allow you the opportunity to keep that momentum going, to let those ripples continue out. So if you like anything that he and I are sharing, please let me know. Please let me know how else we can serve you. Please let me know what other topics you'd like to dive into and what you're calling in for 2021. Okay. What his specialty is and what he talks about and what he teaches a lot about is about wealth and health. Okay. So without further ado, let's bring on my brother from another mother, Majid. So thank you, Majid, for being here. I'm so excited to share you with my world.
Well, before I get started, by the way, if you guys could hear me, just put a one in the chat. So just put one in there just so you guys could hear me. Okay, awesome. Love it. Mavian, really good to see you. Christine, I believe I saw you earlier too. I know there's a couple of people here on this call that are repeat offenders. And hopefully from our last call, you got some value. I was able to kind of give you guys some insight into how you work, right, internally. Because, and to kind of give you my story, when it came to my journey personally, because our pain, wherever it's at, that's usually a marker for what our message can be eventually, right? So and a lot of my pain and my struggle really came around my family, who where my mom had been struggling with fibromyalgia for the last 20 years. My wife was also diagnosed at 19 years old with stage 4 endometriosis, if you guys are familiar with that. And from there, with the medical treatment that she got through traditional medical means, it just started leading to a lot of other issues. So she went from that to having markers for rheumatoid arthritis, to a lot of labels in the cognitive health space. And it was just her journey, and being told at 19 that you could never have kids, is pretty impactful, especially was for Janelle. So we've been on this search, for the truth, because, we didn't want, I wasn't okay with my wife being a zombie for most of the day because of the meds that she was on, and she didn't want to live like that, and I didn't blame her, right? So we just kept looking for a lot of different options. So what I'm going to try to do today for you guys is try to condense about 20 years worth of data right into 20 minutes, because today we've been able to help both my mom and my wife get off of all pharmaceutical drugs. We have 2 children today when we were told we could never have any. Which, well, there you go. You're hearing one of mine now, but basically, the major thing that I want you to take away from today is it's very, very simple. Health is simple if you let it be. It's honestly, it's a lot of the stuff that your grandmother said, right? But you just don't know why she said it, right? So we might discuss like why she said what she said on the call today, because once you understand some simple basic truths about health, you could take that on. When you understand some simple basic truths about finances, you could take that on. The bridge, really, and the access to that information is the bridge that we want to connect for everybody, not just here, but we want to make that global impact. And Lizelle is such a dear friend. We're just about a year ahead of her when it comes to kids, because it took us, we're much older, but we're about a year ahead of them when it comes to kids. So we've been talking about our children and how to, try to help them without meds and different things like that, and so we've just developed this great friendship, and I love what she's, because we vibrate on the same frequency, her, not just her, but her amazing husband, Jason, who's one of my best friends. And, we've just realized that, we're all in a position to impact. And what you're starting to see is a series of impactful conversations that could really break the generational cycle for a lot of people, right? And because a lot of times when you think about your like, people say, well, it's in my family. I have this disease in my family, and they associate it, they label it, they accept it, and so they're attracting a lot of things that they don't really want, number one. But number two, it's not that that it's part of your family, it's that you have the same habits as your family. So what you took on was the habits. Everyone has the genes, it's whether you activate it or you don't activate it, and it's the habits that activate your genes or not activate your genes. So what we have to really focus on are what are the habits that let us live life, right? And a lot of us, when we're living life at 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, we're just used to it. It's kind of like boiling a frog, even if he's boiling in there, he's suffocating, he's dying, but he's comfortable in that water, right? So it's about getting people to, number one, be aware of what's going on, and number two, to take action. All right. But awareness is key. So today I'm going to really talk to you about some simple truths that are the root cause to majority of issues health wise. And by activating these truths, you could see a dramatic shift, not just in your health, but these are the things that hopefully you teach your children and their children and their children, right? Because that's really what we want to do. We want to create generational impact, not through you taking a supplement, but by you actually understanding how your body actually works. So you don't actually need a supplement, okay? Where everything else is a complement to what you're already doing, right? So we're going to be talking about compliments here, because that's truly when you start giving to yourself at that level, how you do something really converts into how you do everything. So when you start taking care of yourself, you're going to start seeing that impact kind of just ripple out. And so a lot of the blocks that you guys might be noticing or feeling or focusing on, it's what we focus on is what we get, right? So if we could focus on the solution that brings us closer to ourselves, that gets us closer to feeling and internalizing that impact, then you're going to start seeing that impact ripple out in every other area of your life also. But today, for today's purposes, we're going to talk about health. And when it comes to health, I want to kind of just share with you what were the simple systems and things that we did based on functional medicine. Now, if you're not familiar with that term and you or somebody that you love is dealing with a health issue, please look up functional medicine. It is what unlocked a lot of this for us. So, what I'm going to be talking about today is a lot of functional medicine strategies that really that could really have a major impact on you, because what functional medicine doctors are looking at they're looking at you more like at a cellular level and a molecular level, so you could really figure out what's supposed to be in there, and if it's not supposed to be in there, how to get it out. Right. So there's two things that I really want to cover when it comes to gut health. So I don't know if you guys so type in gut if you've heard of gut health before, or you are practicing or you're practicing some type of helping yourself with gut issues. Okay, so great. There's a lot of people that have not just heard it but are practicing it. But let me actually kind of cover it with you why that's so important. Okay, most of us are eating cooked or processed food. Okay, I'm from Chicago. I live in Vegas now. I love food, right? I My wife's super healthy. Like she could juice for 60 days and be cool with it. Like me, I just enjoy food, right? So it's just but it's about what the unconscious um basically action has done. Okay, not just for me, not just for my wife, not just for my mom, but like why this is why it's actually been so impactful, because when we eat cooked and processed food, okay, and I'm going to give you guys a visual. Okay, you guys see this like snack pack pudding? All right. So this obviously, think of it as the food that we, hopefully you're not eating this normally, right? But if you were, right, there's really not a lot of nutrients in here. Like it's just kind of nasty, right? So most of us are eat when we eat cooked and processed food, we burn off the enzymes within that food. Okay, and to kind of give you a visual around enzymes is when you eat an apple, right? You know how an apple starts browning out, like it starts turning brown after you take that bite. By the way, if an apple does not turn brown, like just put it down, like it's not, you shouldn't be eating it, it's been zapped, right? So when you eat that apple and it turns brown, that's when oxygen hits those enzymes, they start doing their work, which is basically decomposing that apple into its most molecular structure. Okay, now when you bake that apple, let's say into an apple pie, right, and you've now baked it over 118 degrees, you burn off the enzymes within it. Okay, now when that food hits your stomach, there's nothing to really break it down. Okay, and that's really where the big issue and the genesis of a lot of issues for people comes from, because now that there's no food in your stomach, or there's food in your stomach and nothing to break it down, there's two things that happen. Number one, that food starts leaking out outside of your stomach lining, which is like a real thin cheesecloth. That's how thin it is. It starts. That's called leaky gut. If you guys have ever heard of leaky gut, um, Stephanie said I eat almost raw vegan. I have made a massive difference for your health, and it's basically based on what I'm about to talk about right now, right? Because when you eat cooked and processed food, hits your belly, now it's either going outside of your stomach lining, which is leaky gut, or you have these things called metabolic enzymes, or they're source enzymes, which is what I call them. And they have over 5,000 functions in the body. Like when you hear, when you listen, when you see, like when you're falling asleep and you're like, I got to be up at like 6 a.m., right? I got to be up at 6 a.m. That your internal battery, that internal battery's programming, that is because of enzymes. Okay, so there's tons of functions for them in our body, but here's what's happening. Most of us are we're eating unconsciously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day, right? Cooked, processed food, whatever it might be. Now, those enzymes, those source enzymes, you might have hurt your wrist, and they're fixing your wrist for you. But then what happened? You ate something, whatever you did for breakfast, right? Now it has to leave whatever it's doing, go into your gut, and start breaking down your food. Because if your food doesn't get broken down, that's a major problem, right? And now, because most of us are utilizing our metabolic enzymes for digestion 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day, we're running out of those. And that's a really big issue, not just for you right now, but for your kids also, because you can only pass on what you have, right? My kids have food sensitivities and all of that stuff because my wife did not have the enzymes to pass down. Because that's important to understand, to really store your metabolic enzymes. And that's why they say, have kids earlier. It's because you have more to give them. Right? So that's a big reason why, is because the younger you are, the less you've used, right? But if you've been good about it, if you've been storing those metabolic enzymes, if you've been if you've not been breaking down, I'm going to show you basically. Here's the big key, right? You want to, if you're going to eat cooked and processed food, you want to be able to give your body what it needed to break down that food in the place. Does that make sense? So if you're going to eat, so there are biohacks. There's good news here. You're not going to have to be like a raw foodist. Stephanie sounds like she's amazing at it. I am still working on that willpower, right? But my wife's an amazing cook. We eat mostly raw, and but we do eat, we do eat meat, but we make sure that it's consciously sourced. Comes from regenerative farming because it's just great for our blood type. That's a whole nother subject line, right? But when we eat, this is really what should be happening. And I'm using this because what you guys should do is always kitchen test anything that you put in your body, because 95% of supplementation out there, okay, is made with a lot of like fillers and stuff that your body doesn't know how to take on. Okay, so now here's what's happening. When you get that food in your belly, right, and you have digestive enzymes to break it down, it'll start breaking your food down into most molecular structure, so your stomach could absorb those nutrients. The biggest issue that people are having is not about what they're eating, it's about what they're not absorbing. Okay, so absorption is key. Think about it this way. If you sat in front of a movie like me, I could probably smash out like a bag of chips. I know this is like a health webinar, but I could probably smash out a bag of chips, some ice cream, and throw a little candy. I see a smile from Christine, which means she probably does the same thing. Or could probably smash out a whole bunch of food while I'm watching a movie, and then after I'm done, I could probably go out for dinner, right? So, but here's the thing: if you gave me a bag of apples to eat, I wouldn't be able to eat that bag of apples, because when my body says I have enough nutrients, it says enough. Does that make sense? So the key is just you actually absorbing your food so you could get some nutritional value out of it. Here, sorry, but basically, here's what should happen, right? Like that pudding, right? That should basically turn into like chocolate milk, right? Like if you guys take a look, right, this pudding is basically now chocolate milk, because what you want to ask yourself is my food breaking down like that inside my stomach? And if it's not, what's happening to it, right? So you're utilizing your metabolic enzymes to break it down. And when you continue to do that, guess what? You run out of them. You guys ever heard of somebody being like lactose intolerant? Right? Um, and so if you use, it's because they love dairy, right? And eventually their body used up all the metabolic enzymes for dairy, which is lactase, and now they no longer can break down dairy. But the same starts happening with grains, with fats, with sugars. And then the medical community gives all of that stuff a lot of labels. I can't say those labels on here, but you guys already know them, right? And when you get old enough, and you can't break down anything, you're living off a Slim Fast because you can't, your body has completely lost its ability to break down any food group, right? And then you could only pass on. So, like, this is the first time in history where people are progressively getting worse health wise, right? This is the first time in history where we're supposed to outlive our children. That's not okay. Our kids today are having adult type diseases. That's not okay. Okay, so the first thing is really going after your gut health. If you understand gut health, and look that up, look up that term, gut health, look up functional medicine. These are all, my job here today is just to plant some seeds so you guys could go out and explore, right? Um, the key here is that if you're gonna eat food that's dead, okay, so there's two distinctions. If you take nothing away, take this away. Okay, this food that's alive and food that's dead. The more food that you eat that's dead, the closer you get to death. The more food that you eat that's alive, the closer the more alive you are, and the better quality of life you're gonna have. Okay. Now, if you're gonna cheat, it's okay. We still want to then give your body what it needs to do its job. Don't tax it. Don't make it work any harder than it should. Because if you do that, it's basically it's gonna show up somewhere. Okay. If you don't allow your body to do its job, you're gonna see the results of it, whether that's pain, whatever issues you might be having, right? Now, the second piece to this, okay, is the endocannabinoid system. I know you guys have heard of CBD before. Put in the chat if you guys have used CBD before, or have thought about using it, or used CBD before. Just put CBD in the chat. And by the way, did you guys get some value from gut health? And if you guys got some value and would like some more information, want to explore it further, whether it's coming down to your pain, joint pain, knee pain, different things, and want to learn how it's connected. Unfortunately, I can't go into everything today, but we could set up like a 15-minute call. I could, you could tell me exactly what you're dealing with, and I'll not only be able to kind of give you any insight if I can. And if not, I'll also connect you to our community where we have about 77,000 people that have in the last year and a half. And a lot of them have been able to overcome major, basically improve their quality of life is what I could say legally, right? But we could add you to that community so you could see that too. Now, the second piece for my mom's fibromyalgia, this was really, really key because we didn't understand this at all until we did a lot of research. And by the way, CBD itself has become like a marketing term, right? Because it is so highly marketed today. There's just so much out there. But the thing to understand is that CBD is one out of like 500 cannabinoids. Okay. So and we've not researched all of them at all. Like I think we've researched less than 100. So we don't know that much about the plant yet. But what we do know, and what the Israelis found, and guys, if you guys want a really good resource around anything that's science based around CBD, there's a great website called cbd.org. Okay, so I'm sorry, projectcbd.org. So it's projectcbd.org, and you have some of the world's leading scientists talking about what CBD is, what it does, how it works. Thank you, Lizelle. Lizelle just put that in the chat. So the key thing to understand about the endocannabinoid system and how it works, it's a very, very big part of your immune system, but it has to be activated. Okay. Now, when you receive cannabinoids, what happens, it takes that signal from the receptors to the nucleus of the cell, and it basically disrupts the stress response, which brings that area into homeostasis or balance. So that's your body's job, is really bringing you back to center. That's what it does. That's why your tan doesn't last. Okay, is because when you get tan, your body's job is to bring you back into homeostasis, as it brings you back to your original color. Okay, so that's why you don't have a tan forever, right? But it's your body working. So your body knows how to do this innately. Okay, it's designed to. The only thing that could help you heal, guys, is your body. You just have to give it what it needs to do its job and stop making it work harder than it already does. Now, the reason that the endocannabinoid system is extremely powerful is that whenever you have any area in your body, whether that's inflammation, whether that's, whatever issues you might have, basically you have these receptors pop up in that area. You receive that signal, dissipates that area, relieves the inflammation, and that's why it also has so many different impacts that it has, right? Is because it actually regulates. It's your master communication system and also your master regulatory system. Okay, so here's something I'm going to tell you. You don't have to take a CBD product to be able to get cannabinoids. Here's my free tips for you guys, right? Here's some ways that you do this naturally. So when you're meditating with Lizelle, okay, the reason it's so powerful, okay, outside of just listening to Lizelle, I could listen to her forever. Um, but when you meditate, that blissed out feel that you get, those are called anandamides. Those are also cannabinoids that get released into your system. Okay. So Ananda in Sanskrit means pure joy. That's how you feel when it comes out. Those are when you're running, right? That runner's high that you get, that's also that's 2-AG and anandamides. Okay, mother's breast milk, 2-AG and anandamides. That's why we call it white gold, right? Is because there's cannabinoids already within that breast milk. So if you're doing these things, if you're exercising, if you're doing things that are releasing those cannabinoids on the daily, you're good. That's why if you notice, that's what the people that are the healthiest, right, is the ones that are really activating their endocannabinoid systems. Now, if you don't do that, you can't do that, you really should supplement with a product. That's what my mom's issue was. She's extremely straight edge. She hasn't even had a drop of alcohol in her life, right? So to get her to smoke a joint or anything like that was out of the question, right? So, but with CBD, it really made a major transition for her because it helped her really activate her endocannabinoid system. And at the same time, we worked on her gut health. And that's really important to understand because if your gut is weak, if you have bad gut health, you're also going to have two major issues. Your endocannabinoid system will also be impacted, and your mental health will also be impacted. Because if you think about things like serotonin, dopamine, like a lot of those the brain food, brain chemicals, right? Those are actually made in your gut, 95% of them. Okay. And then they come to the brain through a nerve that we have called the vagus nerve. Okay. But if number one, your gut's compromised, you're going to have issues there. The second thing is that if your endocannabinoid system is not activated, you have your CB1 receptors, which basically block all those neurotransmitter signals. So for all those people that have racing thoughts, you just can't shut it off, right? It's just going and going and going. And like you literally have to go run and do all types of things before you could actually pass out, right? Uh, that's because your CB1 receptors haven't been activated. If you have your CB1 receptors, that's what kind of blocks a lot of those signals. So gut health and activating your endocannabinoid system are crucial for both of those aspects. Okay. Now, when it comes to most product that you've heard of in the CBD space, you hear of CBD oils, right? Has Um, overthinking. Yep. So if you guys have tried a CBD oil, type in oil in the comments, right? So if you guys have tried a CBD oil, now the thing with oils, guys, here's something to remember. Most of our body is water, right? Do oil and water mix? No, they don't, right? I think everybody should know that at least, right? But I'm gonna show you. I have a CBD oil here that I got from a local dispensary here, and I'm gonna show you. So Michelle's tried some oil. Um, iPhones tried some oil, and I'm gonna show you guys this. So I'm gonna put this in here, right? And as you guys could see, that oil is just kind of floating up around the top, right? So that oil is still kind of floating around at the top, and that's really what it does. So if you think about it, if oil floats in the water here, don't you think it's also going to float in the water inside, right? So the absorption rate is very low. Okay, you're looking at anywhere from 6 to highest I've seen is maybe 15%. Okay, so that's like, getting a pizza and 85% of the slices are gone, right? But it still impacts, it still works. Not saying that, oils don't work, but when you so when I was looking for solutions for my mom, I tried a lot of different things. That, one of my good friends is the president of the Illinois Hemp Association. We've been very active in the space with advocacy for the hemp bill, like you name it. We've been involved back in Chicago. And so when I found a product that worked for my mom, is because of the science of it. Okay, it wasn't an oil, it was a fluid. Because the gentleman that I know that has basically that started this product, he had a patent on plant extraction where he was pulling basically the nectar out of the plant, so it could basically, he didn't have to heat or pressure it, and that's very, very important because you need all those cannabinoids together to create the impact. There's a scientific, the scientific word for it's funny. It's called the entourage effect. Okay, I love that show, but the entourage effect is what it's called, but it's basically the combination of all those cannabinoids working together to make the impact. So I'm going to show you when you have a CBD fluid. Here, let me take this out of here and kind of show you. A fluid will basically, when you drop it in water, you'll see it dissipate. Do you guys see that kind of jellyfished out, right? And it basically dissipated. So that's what you want happening. And if you guys don't like the taste of the plant, you could literally just drink the water. That's what my mom does, right? She's still. So it's very important at the end of the day to activate those systems, right? And like I talked about, when it comes to mental health, when you activate your endocannabinoid system, when you really go after gut health, a lot of that anxiety, depression, brain fog, a lot of the things that we deal with, or I don't know about you, I used to have what I call the itis, right? Like after I eat, I need to take a nap, right? That bloating, that fatigue, those things are basically because you're asking your body to do more than it should, and it's doing what it needs to do, but it has to pull from everywhere to do it. Therefore, your body just completely needs to shut down for a little bit. That's why you get sleepy, tired, all those type of things. Okay. I'm actually gonna kind of end it there, but I also wanted to kind of show you guys the impact that we've created. So we started a group last year or a year and a half ago called Health Wealth Community. And literally you could go in here and type in anything. I can't see the chat box, but if you guys want to put in there, so type in the chat box anything that you personally are going through, or someone that you love, whether that's an autoimmune condition, whether that's whether that's a symptom, whether that's a chronic pain thing. And Lizelle, if you could tell me, because I can't see it when I'm sharing, but if you could tell me what that is, any, and then I'm going to type that into the chat, because what we wanted to do is really create the community uh, to impact. Because when I was going through what I was going through with, with my wife, with my mom, everyone had an opinion on their health, right? And what we wanted to do is really create a community where you could listen to people who are actually struggling with what you were struggling with and been able to overcome it. So you go in here, and I'm just going to throw in diabetes, because that's just really relevant these days. Because a lot of people who are diabetic, have comorbidities. So a lot of them are staying in there, a lot of fear there. But, if we could really kind of give them solutions that break down their, break down their sugars, and, they're able to rebound. So we have literally hundreds of people talking about like how they've been, what they used, um, how some of the education and resources that we gave them have been able to help them. We have people I know a lot of people on here. When I was reading the chats, people are looking to get healthier, kind of get their body together for. So we have great resources like type 1 collagen, because with collagen, you start losing 1% of collagen a year after the age of 23. But when you reintroduce it, and by the way, if you're taking a collagen, you should really have like a high dose of vitamin C, because when you do that, that's what delivers it to the cellular level, and then you could get some major impact results, like a lot of people in our community are. As you see, this is day one. Day 7, we have people with this lady had a C-section scar, where she had it for 7 months, and in 7 days it went from here to here. So basically, guys, just know this, right? When you give your body what it needs to do its job, it's gonna create miracles for you, right? You just gotta allow it to do it, right? You gotta stop taxing it, eat food that's more alive than dead, all right? Activate your endocannabinoid system, and start oxygenating your blood. I couldn't talk about that a whole lot today, but oxygenating your blood is basically just cleaning up a lot of that undigested food in your blood. And there's definitely ways to be able to do that, because that undigested food becomes things like uric acid, which when it gets into your joints, that's what causes pain, inflammation. When you have inflammation in your blood, is because it's really protecting your body from foreign intruders, right? And that's where a lot of issues start popping up from. So
Hey,
if we
Manjit.
want to, yeah,
No. I actually have somebody who shared something in a private message.
okay,
Um, so some people are dealing with cancer, and I know that there are some people in this room who have family members who have cancer. So looking at maybe in the community, are there people who are in there that have shared stories of like their cancer journey that may shed light to help family members or individuals who are going through that in different stages of it?
yes. So there's a lot of stories in here about people, deal not just cancer, but also recovery from chemo and different things like that. Because it's not just the disease, but it's also like how people have to recover after they're going through traditional treatments. So those are really key things in the space. But another thing I'm going to share with you, we have a website, and in here, there's a gentleman named Dr. Barry Tan. And by the way, I think his website is barrytan.com, but we have a lot of his research in here. And basically, when it comes to certain levels of vitamin E, um, there's a lot of research around this, and he's written books. But when it comes to certain types of vitamin E, they really increase life expectancy in cancer patients, support cardiovascular health. So we could get these resources over to you, as you're trying to discover it. So, at the end of the day, guys, it's very simple. What we love to kind of help you with is, if in 2021 your goal is to get healthier, claim your health back, understand your health, I'd be happy to jump on a 15-minute call. By the way, if you guys are interested in a 15-minute call, type in 15 minutes. I'd be happy to, see if I could be a contribution or like a stepping stone towards your health and wellness journey. And then for those people who really want to advocate alongside with us, for those people who really said, hey, this education was impactful. Not only do I want to, not only do I want to utilize these resources, but I want to use my voice to wake up my community, and if that's you, so if you want to use these strategies for yourself, type in like. If you want to basically start advocating alongside with us and be compensated for your voice, and by doing that, create another stream of income for yourself in 2021, type in love, right? Or give me a heart, in there, and we'll be able to connect with you and see like how we could collaborate to kind of either help you discover your health, or create a additional stream of income by being able to advocate alongside with us, help educate people, wake people up around their health, and also around finances. So with that, I'm going to turn call back to Lizelle, and be happy to answer any questions and go from there. Thank you again for everyone for being on this call and giving me your time.
Thank you, Majid. Yay! That was amazing. I learned so much. Again, just like every single call that we have, business related or personal, or just randomly talking. Thank you so much, Majid, for coming on, and thank you all of you for joining on live, and also for watching the replay and staying till the end, because this information that he shared is so basic and so foundational to who we are as people, that really allows us to show up as leaders, as business owners, as coaches, as mentors, as parents, right? And if we're not taking care of ourselves, then what's happening? Like, what's really happening? So something that I want to remind you guys is, again, you are the ones who is living your life. And by living this life, we come here with an agreement with the universe to help us to manifest this experience, right? So make sure that you are giving the universe instructions, okay? You have to give the universe instructions. Otherwise, what's going to happen? You're going to be living a default life. And it's the default life that you were given by your parents, by the 3D, by society, by the culture, by TV, by radios, by movies, by people you don't even know, or people who don't even care about you. If you really care about yourself and you really see yourself making an impact in 2021, take care of your health. Your wealth builds on your health, okay? You cannot show up and manifest clearly, quickly, with clarity if your mind is not clear, if your mind is foggy, if your body's not taking care of itself. You're going to be in survival mode. You're going to be in, I need to just get to that point. I need to sleep so I can feel better. How are you going to show up and radiate and inspire others if you're hiding under the covers? Okay. So these calls are really about like waking yourself up to these foundational principles, which for me, I'm letting you know, like, this is new for me. And I saw the impact that this information, this education is making, and I'm using it on myself. And you guys, like, I look younger, I've lost more weight, I've made more money in the past few months than I have ever had. And I'm telling you, it is because I finally allowed myself to take in this new information and forget what I learned, because you guys are in a new world, right? So give the universe instructions, be really, really, really clear. And you know what? If you don't feel like you're ready, or if you don't feel like you're worthy of taking the next step and doing something new, then your life is going to stay the same. Take the actions that you don't feel worthy of. And that's something that I learned from Majid. take actions that you don't feel worthy of taking, because by taking that action, guess what? You are going to become that person. If you're afraid of saying, talking to the guy and you don't talk to him, he's gonna leave the party. But when you know, like, you know what? I'm special. I'm unique. There's something that he's going to want to know about me. I'm going to just talk to him because for some reason I want to. And then you talk to him, and then guess what? It's like sparks and all these things. Like, you would never know if you stayed back there and said, you know what? I'm not worthy. It's not okay. Who am I to think I can talk to that cute guy? And the opportunity will pass you by. So don't let this opportunity for future you 2021 to pass you by. Okay. If here, I'm going to put in the chat right here. It's calendly.com/Zafer Oh, girl, you feel like this message is for you? Yeah, this message was for me too. Okay. Majid is having conversations with you, like he's having with me, about what is really true for you and how can you really take these applicable steps and apply it into your 3D life. Okay. I'm the mindset woohoo woo up here. Majid's very grounded, and he has given me and my husband actionable steps. He's given us resources. He's given us a place where we feel safe in that community to learn, to ask questions, to share, because who really knows this stuff? Not very many people. And so if you're watching this, if you're here, you're kind of in the beginning stages and you're the leader, and you're going to be the ones who are educating because you have access to this information now. So Michelle, you needed this today too. Yeah, we all do. If you're a leader, if you're a business owner, if you need to be in more places than just your room and in your PJs, like, you kind of need this stuff. You need to know this. So again, thank you, Majid, for everything, for sharing your resources, your education, your time, your energy with us. Thank you all for showing up. 15-minute consultations to dive into anything he didn't go over. He talked about wealth, health, out of the box stuff, stuff that, nothing is too crazy to talk to Majid about, just so you know. So he is a friend. He is, our extended family, and so yours as well. So yeah, I will also be sending out the link to his Calendly in the email. The Facebook community link, it's actually, Michelle, it's private. So if you want to join, go ahead and find me on Facebook. Yeah, if you want to join the community and get access and be able to, it's literally my husband and I's like health and wealth Google. We go in there and we type in anything like credit, I don't know, like the cancer, like you can type in anything, right? And then all these people will show up, right? Rashes, eczema, just anything health and wealth, life insurance, I don't know, anything really. So yeah, if you want to be in there, DM me on Facebook. That way we can connect, and then I can bring you to the group. If you're not on Facebook, set up an account. But anyway, we're already going a little bit late today. I just want to say thank you again. And if you want to connect with Majid, you can connect with me, or you can connect with him on Calendly. And until then, oh yeah, Michelle, you're a life insurance agent. Yes. Okay. Yeah, let's connect. There's going to be a lot of resources in there for you, and anybody else in your company. There's just so much. There's so much opportunity. There's abundance everywhere. Okay. So 2021 is an open book. It's time to hold the pen and know that you're the one holding it. Okay. I love you all. Happy manifesting, and I'll see you on the next call next Tuesday. Same time, same people. Love you all. Happy manifesting. Bye.